Morning guys. My last video, my camera died, so it cut out in the middle. But obviously I didn't have time to charge my camera and then go back to it. So I finished the candle I was doing in that video, which it looks like this. I've put one coat of sealant on and a few of the purple rhinestones just there. I'm sorry my nails look absolutely terrible. I had fake nails on and they're kind of coming off, and because they were done really badly, and I've got some holes drilled into my nails, so they're kind of a bit sore, so they look a bit tacky. But I'm just about to put another coat of sealant onto this and then move on to doing this candle, which, as you can see, they're fairly different sizes. So I'll show you how to put sealant on while I drop my candle. I'll show you how to put the sealant on this one, and then I'll show you a different kind of flower on this one. The sealant I'm using is Mod Podge. I just bought this on eBay, and I'm using the gloss one because it gives it a nice shiny finish. I just have an old paintbrush that I don't really use. This is really easy. It's more what kind of sealant to use. Go to your candle, put it on, and that's about it. Just brush it on. And it shouldn't take too long. If you get bits that sort of build up like that, try and brush them out. It shouldn't take too long because the first time you do it, you've got to be careful not to crack any of the henna off. Because as it dries, you must do this when it's dry as well. If you do it when it's wet, just end up with henna smeared all over your candle, and then it just wastes all the time you spent doing it. So you just brush it on. Don't want too much, because then you'll end up with sort of thicker bits. Just want to brush it on nicely. Even apply it on the parts where you don't have henna, like around here I don't have any henna, but I won't skip it because then you'll end up with parts of the candle that are really shiny from the Mod Podge, and then the rest will be just where the wax is, and it'll just look like a normal regular waxy candle, and it will clash with the really high gloss of the rest of it. Just go straight over the top of any of your rhinestones too, because it will make sure they hold onto the candle. Oh my dear. I've just got henna all over my pens and stuff. This is quite messy. Quite a messy. Out of all the crafts you can do, it's one of the messiest, I think. It's going to attack me. I've been drawing all morning, so that's why I have a desk full of pens at the minute. I have my phone balancing in a jar, which is why the camera is a bit fickly. Is that better? There we go. This is going to probably be a very wonky video. I mean, once you've done the first coat of sealant onto your candle, you can be quite a lot, well, you don't have to be as delicate with it, because obviously when you do the first one, the henna's dry, and if you used some sugar in your mix to help it actually stick to the candle, once it dries, it will start cracking. So you'll just end up with little bits that want to flake off. which is completely normal because when you apply henna to obviously your hands or your feet or wherever, it will want to flake off after a few hours. And I've had this drying overnight while I was asleep, so it's had a nice long chance to dry. So you just want to make sure you get it all over, like so. As you can see, I'm not being too clean with it. It doesn't need to be too amazing. As long as it's holding the henna on the candle, that's pretty much all you want. So there we go. A bit more up here. And depending on how that one dries, you might not need a third coat. I mean, sometimes more complicated designs, if there's a lot of fine work, because there's quite a lot of thick lines here, it doesn't want to dry up as quickly, so you don't have to worry so much about your candle drying out and flaking off. But there you go. If there's any white clumps, you don't need to worry about that because it will dry clear. It will just look like so.